All nationalism is egos. They are pitfalls. Open up towards the physical world and samsara in the way of supporting the beings. There will not be killings and fightings towards one another. Those who spread out religions all these days, they don't teach in the way that is extensive. They are fixated to one's own religions. Fixation to one's own religions. This is the pitfall, beginning by fixation. All religions, each God giving such religion not towards one's own group of beings, not particular groups of beings, but the beings are fixated to one's own religion. This is the pitfall. It is instead universal, not to be fixated with one's own religion for one's own country. This is a pitfall. One person can respect every religion. That is the mind, that is universal. That is the model, the role model for all humanity. One person only respect one religion and fixated on one religion cannot be a role model in this physical world. They cannot bless beings in the whole samsara. One should open up to respect all religions. Respect can be used for everything, for every religion. It's not to be fixated to anything. And in this way, we can meet each other without conditions. And it will cut off the belief values about taking religions or not, having bias with religions or holding on to religions, because these are opinions. This is not okay. It should be that respect all religions without fixation. Because whenever there is a fixation, it becomes my religion. And there will be conflict towards one another. So in this samsara, still lacking this kind of teaching. Because it is not one's own religions, one's own God. This is not at all the way. Gods are derived from the foundation of the great compassion, not to be belonged and owned by any groups of beings. It is for the whole samsara. Gods are for all beings, for all groups of beings, not being specific for certain groups of beings. Gods are universal for the physical world and samsara, for all beings. Gods are not belong to certain kind of beings, and gods are not fixated to the beings. They are only to help the beings liberated. Therefore, gods don't belong to anyone. Everyone can use respect towards gods, but not fixation, because that is wrong related to gods. Gods are not coming to be fixated to you. Therefore, don't use fixation towards God. Every religion is like this, all the same. We have to purify it in such a way. With this, everyone will respect one another in the world without division, without separation. If using respect with God in whatever ways, using it with all beings, with one another in the same way, there is no such a teaching in this world at all. Don't know what is thrown in to teach one another in order to live with one another. Make it in the same essence. Don't create separations, differentiations. How can there be liberation here? The more division, the more differentiations, it's not liberated. It's always obstructing. Therefore, whenever we meet the world, respect without fixation, it will not be wrong. When there is a fixation, it is wrong, because it's like fixated towards that which is not about fixation. Therefore, regarding religions, use only respect, that's all. Buddha said, the suffering of the beings are derived from the attachment, the fixation only. Fixation to oneself and all things. This is the cause of suffering and the suffering in itself. And those who are Buddhists, they are fixated to the Buddhas, to the Triple Gem, fixated to everything, to the Tripitaka. Fixated. That's why there is suffering. There are so many sects and paths. This path, that path. It begins with fixation. Without fixation, there will not be paths or sects. Listening and ending right there. Listening and it bygone. There will be no fixation. There will be no forms of this and that, because there is no fixation. Communicating and ending right there without having to practice in whatever ways again. And when there is the living together, just supporting each other, that's it. Living together in this samsara by supporting each other, that's it. This is the principle to relate to one another in a way without fixation. When there is no beginning to be fixated, it will be bygone in itself. But to teach each other to practice like this and like that, that is creating more ego, more firm attachment to one's own opinions. The Buddha said, everything is not to be attached to. Therefore, just relate in the way of nothing to nothing. That's all. There is no need to think of being attached or not attached in whatever ways. Why having to practice in this way or that way to become a fixation? Living together by supporting each other without hurting and harming towards one another, that's all. There are extremists in any religions, always mixed in any religions, because it's depending on the person. In Buddhism, Christianity or Islamic, there are those extremists. When Luang Po is going to any places with various belief system, Luang Po help them unwind from the fixed belief values. There's no spreading religions at all towards them. They also yield accordingly to what they're listening to from Luang Po. In the temples, there are all types of belief systems, but when they are there, they are released from all the fixed beliefs. We are living together in the way with respect, listening to something that dissolves all the fixation day by day. There is not much at all. There are so many foreigners in the temples.